Steve Harvey left in tears after his stepson confesses this. Steve Harvey raised 7 children after marrying Marjorie Bridges, increasing his family from 4 to 7. It couldn't have been simple, and taking on the role of stepfather undoubtedly wasn't without its growing pains. In fact, Harvey's stepson's remarks on the host program caused the host to cry. Experiencing emotion? Harvey has a difficult time. Mostly, all he does is make us laugh. He's one of the most well-known celebrities in America because of his winning sense of humor, which has also helped him amass a staggering $100 million fortune. Harvey hasn't, however, always been successful. Humble origins. Harvey was raised in poverty, having been born in West Virginia. As the son of a coal miner, he was raised to understand the value of a hard day's labor. The future artist also had a number of occupations before becoming well-known in the entertainment industry, including time spent as a mailman, carpet cleaner, and even a boxer. Large break. Harvey slept in his vehicle in between concerts when he first began as a stand-up comedian and was technically homeless. But in 1990, when he advanced to the finals of the second annual Johnny Walker National Comedy Search, he had his big break. He quickly took up the role of Showtime's host. In theory, homeless. Nonetheless, Harvey would still struggle to become successful even after discovering his calling as a stand-up comedian. In reality, he spent the first 3 years of his profession without steady lodgings. Harvey explained what happened to people by saying, "1 or 2 engagements went through and suddenly I was homeless. Nowhere to go." True, even though some of Harvey's concerts included lodging, there were instances where he was forced to live in his vehicle. In addition, Harvey claimed to people that he had nowhere to go. The comedian set up shop in his 1976 Ford Tempo as a temporary residence, using a cooler as a makeshift refrigerator and cleaning himself at gas stations and public pool showers. Remained faithful. Harvey recalled those trying days and said to people, "That was so depressing. You can only truly do it for a week." It had been 3 years, yet he never lost faith that things would turn around. "That was at his lowest point," the host said. "Yet even in my worst hours, I believed things would get better." Reaching new heights. Harvey had good reason to think so. He made his TV debut in 1990, you see, after advancing to the final of the Johnny Walker National Comedy Search. Harvey would stay in this position as Showtime at the Apollo's host for 7 years. Grounding oneself. Harvey was on the path to success, but he never lost sight of the difficulties he had faced at the beginning of his career. He thus made an effort to keep his feet firmly planted. The celebrity continued to use his position to inspire others to persevere even when things seemed hopeless, even as his reputation expanded. A constant struggle. Every time you succeed in overcoming a problem, I've got bad news, there's always another one. There is one more just over there. The path to success is always being built because, what do you know? In 1990, Harvey spoke with Heidi Goikos, a journalist for the South African news network ENCA. His first union. Yet Harvey is well aware that life is not always simple. His marriage to his first wife, Marcia, ended in divorce shortly after he achieved success as a comic on Showtime at the Apollo. After 14 years of marriage, the couple produced 2 girls and a son. A second divorce. After that, Harvey didn't give up on marriage since he subsequently got married to Mary Shackelford. Despite having a son named Winton and lasting 9 years, the marriage ended in November 2005. The comedian has at least maintained his skepticism over his unsuccessful romances. Contemplative on love. Harvey said to ENCA, perhaps in reference to his 2 marriages, "If you've never failed, what do you know? You're ignorant. To find the ideal girl, you must get divorced. I have some knowledge about it." The speaker seemed to be speaking from personal experience since he reunited with a wonderful woman he'd met years before after divorcing Mary. I met Marjorie. In 1990, Harvey first met Marjorie while doing stand-up in Memphis, Tennessee. One evening when the comedian was performing, a lady showed up after it had already started. Harvey came to a complete halt as she made her way through the throng to her seat in the front row. "I'm getting married to her." Of course, Marjorie had been that lady. She was worried that the performer would give her the business for arriving late as she made her way through the throng. Harvey, though, made no jokes about her. Instead, he just turned to face her and said to his audience, "I'm gonna marry her. I'm sorry, I don't know who this is." He was correct. Harvey had a strange ability to predict the future. He was still married to Marcia, therefore he'd have to wait to be married to Marjorie. Harvey also thinks that before being married to Marjorie, he required greater control over his wealth and job. In a 2014 interview with Essence, Harvey clarified how he had arrived at this conclusion. "A guy has to know who he is, what he does, and how much he's going to earn before he can be useful to a woman," he added. And before Marjorie entered his life again in 2005, Harvey may have spent some time sorting all this out. Eventually wed. Harvey appeared in the TV series Me and the Guys and The Steve Harvey Show after winning the Comedy World. The comedian started dating Marjorie following his time on the self-titled show. The couple then got married in 2007. Since then, Harvey has attributed a portion of his success to his third wife. All thanks to her. Harvey remarked of Marjorie in an interview with Essence, "All I have is because of this daughter right here." And it's fair to say that after his third marriage, his profession has only become stronger. For instance, Harvey was announced as Family Feud's host in 2010. After 3 years of Harvey assuming the post, that program would finally rank as the second most watched midday program in the country. The discussion programs. These Days with Steve Harvey, which aired from 2012 to 2016, and Steve, which took its place in 2017, are Harvey's two self-titled talk programs that are most well-known. Both combined Harvey's trademark comedy with celebrity and human interest tales. Yet in May 2019, NBC unexpectedly canceled Steve. Unexpected cancellation. According to rumors, the network fired Steve to create a place for a new program featuring Kelly Clarkson. Harvey, though, said that he was not informed of the intended cancellation until it became public. He said at the Variety Entertainment Conference in 2019 that he believed NBC should have come to him. Considering the future. In June 2019, the last episode of Steve aired. For many of Harvey's admirers, it was undoubtedly a sad event, but the host managed to maintain a good attitude. He released a moving video from his last day on set on Twitter, for instance. Overall, Harvey appeared willing to put more of his attention on moving ahead than on looking back. This is a festive occasion. In the video, Harvey said to a riveted studio crowd, "This is a celebration. This is everything about the end of 7 years. However, dude, this is good. You must comprehend how it works. Your life is only a novel. After all, I'm 62 years old, by the way. The 62nd chapter of the book I'm writing is now in progress." Eagerly awaiting the next page, Harvey continued his comparison by saying, "There are some excellent novels in there too. Both positive and negative chapters are included. Moreover, a few chapters went on a little bit longer than I had hoped. Nonetheless, I managed to get my finger on the page's corner in the 62nd chapter. I'm just getting ready to turn it. I'm eager to see what God has in store for me on the subsequent page." The touching reunion. Even if Harvey's tenure as Steve is over, viewers will always remember its greatest moments. One of the most enduring scenes was when Harvey welcomed Marjorie and their combined family of 7 kids onto the set in 2015. Then things started to get emotional. Large family. Harvey's first marriage to Marcia produced twin daughters, Carly and Brandy, as well as a boy by the name of Broderick. Together with Winton, he had a son through Mary, his second wife. He hasn't had any biological children with Marjorie, but he has adopted a kid via her. Becoming a stepfather. You see, Lori, Jason, and Morgan are 3 of Marjorie's kids from a previous marriage. Harvey has thus served as the trio's stepfather during the years that he's been with them. Although integrating 2 families may be difficult, Harvey appears to go to any lengths for his devoted wife. His love for his wife is deep. Harvey raved to people about falling in love with Marjorie, saying it felt like being reborn. He said, "I screwed up so many times in my life, and that's what I meant. Everything changed because of Marjorie. There are many things you can do while you're content at home." the difficulties of bringing children together. Bringing the two sides together wasn't always simple, even if the pair now seemed to have successfully merged their separate families. Harvey even revealed to people that he had warned his children, saying, "Look, you don't like it? Take care of it. I don't need your approval." Jason starts off. The 7 kids had no option but to accept their parents' marriage, and they eventually merged into one big mixed family. Jason, Marjorie's son, appeared to have concealed his true sentiments towards Harvey, though. That is, until he made an appearance in 2015 on his stepfather's show. Birthday present. The host was surprised on set by his wife, his 7 children, and other family members for his birthday. They each recounted some sweet memories they had of their dad, stepdad, and spouse during their presence on the program. Embarrassing memories. Carly, Harvey's daughter, recalled one particular Christmas when she and Brandy had circled the dining room table on their brand new bikes. Morgan, Marjorie's daughter, told how Harvey had given her away at her wedding in the meantime. Moreover, Broderick, her stepbrother, recalled how his father had handed him his first smoke. Jason's reality. And yet, when it was Jason's turn to speak, the conversation became more somber. He responded, alluding to himself and his sisters, "You stole my mother, but you got a whole lot more than that." And it seems like Harvey not only embraced those kids, but also loved them like they were his own. Emotional disclosure. Jason added, "You told me your last name, and that's unfathomable," displaying clear signs of emotion. "My father, he did all he could, but he wasn't there," he said, "and you intervened and handed it to me." Affected me deeply. Harvey could tell as he listened to Jason talk that his comments had struck a chord. The host's eyes welled up, and his lips trembled as he tried to contain his passion. The speech's most poignant passage, though, was still to come. "You are the best there is." Jason concluded by saying, "If only you understood the genuine amount of love that I have for you. I now need you to be aware of it." Yet he wasn't quite done. "There's no one better than you, Dad. You got it," Jason exclaimed, much to the joy of the live crowd who cheered him on.